From the belly of the beast, California. On February 21st, 2020, the city of Costa Mesa, California, filed a TRO and an order to show cause against, get this, the United States of America, the Department of Health and Human Services, the United States Department of Defense, the United States Air Force, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the State of California, Fairview Developmental Center in Fairview, California, the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, and the California Department of General Services. In a nutshell, here's what the city of Costa Mesa is fighting against. Defendants intend to relocate from 35 to 50 patients already diagnosed with the virus from a secure location on Travis Air Force Base, where they're isolated from population centers, to Costa Mesa, a densely populated city with a county of over 3 million people. And they plan to do so without first determining the suitability of the facility where these individuals will be housed. The defendant's plan was announced at the 11th hour with no effort to include local government leaders or local public health officials. Indeed, state officials demanded to know why local emergency personnel notified city leaders at all of the plan to introduce people with a deadly and highly communicable disease into the community. Fairview was previously used as a residential facility for individuals with disabilities that prevented them from living independently. Fairview is a dilapidated complex surrounded by residential neighborhoods, busy thoroughfares, and popular recreation facilities. It was not intended to house individuals infected with a highly communicable disease. The California State Department of General Services recently performed a site survey of Fairview and deemed it unsuitable for use as an emergency shelter, as it would require 2 years and $25 million in renovations to make it properly habitable. Fairview is an inappropriate location for a quarantine, as there is no way to restrict access to or from the facility. It is, in some places, only 200 yards away from residential neighborhoods, and there are no security measures in place to keep the quarantined individuals isolated from each other and from the residents of Costa Mesa, a city of over 113,000 people with a population density of over 7,100 people per square mile. Narrator's note: good for Costa Mesa. Personally, I don't find it surprising. When you don't give a crap about the welfare of the people that you supposedly serve, you don't have a problem with potentially infecting over 100,000 people. You gotta remember, these are the same idiots that commingled infected Diamond Princess cruise passengers with others on an evacuation flight. Oh, I think I forgot to mention in that last report that the passengers weren't told that they were flying in an enclosed metal tube with recirculated air across an ocean from Japan to the U.S. with infected passengers until they were in the air. Preparing for what's coming is strongly advised. You have to remember there are a lot of things that could go wrong during a long-term quarantine. Other people panicking, the fall of systems like utilities, police, fire, and hospitals, and a shortage of supplies. Those are all things that you've got to take into account. The worst thing that anybody can do is panic, because panic leads to crappy decision-making. The action to take now is to prepare, before the idiots and the brainwashed wake up to reality. At that point, you want to be at home, and you want to be safe away from the chaos. At that point, you should have all your preparations made. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.
So, why I used this as the backdrop, because this is literally what they're doing, and most of what they do is called media, right there, media manipulation. And it's a fact. They use this because they want to flare up people's emotions, but they won't listen to a professional that's highly educated in that field, but will say and will listen to some fucking brat that has repeat propaganda she's been fed. And she gets 24-hour coverage. Yes, this person that outranks her mentally, yes, says it's all a fucking hoax. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's all a hoax. So, what we have in power and in control of positions, or in positions that are in control, that are run and operated literally by dangerous psychopathic people. And that's because our whole government agencies throughout the whole country, from local all the way up to the federal government, is encroached and flooded with psychopathic, narcissistic, insane, dangerous people. Yes, birds of a feather. Yes, they all flock together. And when we turn a blind eye to what's really truly going on, well, that's when the danger begins, ladies and gentlemen, because we think everything's just fine because of manipulation and deception and perception, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what we're getting. Guess what? Now, and I said this before, they're going to lie out their ass. And I understand they don't want a pandemic crisis of panic, okay? Which I can't agree with that. And I think a lot of us can agree with that. Excuse me. But for the true reality of what's going on in reality, we should have been panicking a long time ago over the fact of the psychopaths that are in power. And you guys are playing into it every 4 years. Yes, you are. It's a charade, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's hard for you to fathom that, but because you've been frickin' brainwashed from frickin' day one because you were ensnared and slapped, and guess what? Ever since then, you've been a retard. I know you don't like people talking shit to you like this, but you know what? What is it gonna take for you to actually go and try to prove some of us wrong? You know, that's what I did. I was one of these guys long frickin' time ago. Longer than probably most of you out there. Yes, that's a fact. I've been screaming bloody murder from the highest mountaintops, but nobody listens. Nobody cares because they're going to turn the TV on. They think they're going to listen to somebody that really does, and they don't. They don't give a shit. And this virus crisis that's going on, this isn't an accident. Somebody didn't slip up and fucking and accidentally didn't clean themselves properly. No, that's not it. It has a patent name. Research it. Prove me wrong. Yes. I didn't believe it either until I did my own research and went, holy shit. Really? So, again, we catch these people at another lie. They're lying to the global community because they don't want the community to get mad. You know, we should be stringing these people up for lying, especially for something like this. You know, if it's going to kill you, so that means that they're murderers. If they're not going to be up straight and forward, then they plan on you getting sick. Then that's premeditated. Pandemic or people freaking out doesn't matter. They have the right to know what's going on. And when you're going to be moving people around and this and that and lying to the freaking public, you should be sentenced to death. You should be the first ones to go by the violent hands of the people because you lie. You lie like rugs. And many of us in this community, we know it. And when I say something to somebody that is totally oblivion to reality that's going on, they look at you like they just got hit by a bus or they just woke up and the daylighters, your off-road lights are gleaming into their eyes like, what the hell? But they're not willing. No one is willing. That's the cognitive dissonance, because you will not. You will cling to what you believe in, and you'll defend it until Either you die or you forcefully have been proven wrong. And I highly doubt you ignorant people that believe the narrative will ever wake up to that reality. Not even if they're beating you to death over it. Like I said, there's a new sheriff in town. Hey, Oka, Chief Big Mouth. This is Sunday, 2/23/2020. Have a good day.